One late night, while I sat in my cramped office surrounded by a mess of papers, my phone buzzed with a notification. Smiling, I assumed it was Sarah, my wife of 8 years, sending me something sweet. Maybe a playful note about dinner, or a soft goodnight. With that thought, I unlocked the screen. What I read stole the breath from my lungs. The message was brief, cutting, and merciless. I'm done. I'm leaving you. Don't try to change my mind. My chest tightened, my hands trembled, and I sat frozen, staring at those glowing words. The walls felt like they were collapsing in around me. In one instant, everything I held dear, our marriage, our love, the trust we'd built, and the future we dreamed of, crumbled under the weight of that single text. Heart racing, I rushed home, clinging to the desperate hope that it was some mistake. Maybe a cruel joke. Maybe words of anger she'd quickly take back. But reality was waiting, cold and undeniable. Half her clothes were missing. The dresser drawers hung open. Her favorite suitcase was gone. On the nightstand, our wedding photo still sat where it always had, a cruel reminder of what once was, while her side of the bed lay empty, painfully bare. I called her again and again. Each time, it went straight to voicemail. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in the suffocating quiet of the house, every creak of the floorboards and every passing car reminding me she wasn't coming back, not just for the night, but for good. The weeks that followed crawled by, each day heavier than the last. Friends and family kept asking what had happened, if we'd fought, if I knew why she left, if she'd return. I had no answers. Sarah never reached out again. No texts, no calls, only silence. The pain was unbearable. Nights stretched endlessly. Food turned to ash in my mouth. Everywhere I went became a shrine to our life together. The cafe where we lingered on lazy weekends, the park bench where I proposed, even the grocery store aisles where she used to laugh at my snack choices. Her presence haunted every corner of my world. Eventually, whispers began to circulate. A friend finally confessed, hesitant, that Sarah had been seen with another man, a coworker. Suddenly, everything clicked. The cold message, her disappearance, her refusal to face me. It wasn't unhappiness that drove her away. She believed she had found something better. That truth sliced deeper than her goodbye ever could. I had given her my love, my loyalty, my trust, and she had walked away without looking back. While I was saving for our future, she was secretly preparing her escape. The realization left me feeling foolish, betrayed. Slowly, anger burned through the grief that had been eating me alive. So I began to rebuild. I poured myself into work. I started hitting the gym. I reconnected with old friends I had let drift away during our marriage. The ache was still there, but I was learning to carry it. I reminded myself that Sarah was gone, and that moving forward was my only option. Over time, I grew stronger. The man who once sat staring at his phone, praying for her call, no longer existed. In his place stood someone hardened by heartbreak, but not broken by it. I understood now the depth of love's wounds, but also that life demanded I keep going. Then, one afternoon, my phone buzzed. Sarah. For a moment, I considered ignoring it. But curiosity won. Her message was long, filled with words I never thought I'd hear from her. She confessed everything. The man she'd left me for had betrayed her, used her, then discarded her. She wrote that she realized too late she had thrown away the only person who truly loved her. Her words dripped with regret. I made a terrible mistake. Can we meet? I stared at the screen for a long time, just as I had when she sent her goodbye. But this time, there was no stabbing pain, no desperate ache, only a steady calm. She had destroyed me with one message, and now she wanted to return with another. Despite my hesitation, I agreed to meet her at a quiet cafe. When she walked in, I hardly recognized her. The vibrant, confident woman I once loved was gone. In her place stood someone weary, worn, and prematurely aged. Her smile faltered when she saw how calm I was. Tears filled her eyes as soon as she sat down. She poured out apology after apology, begging for another chance. She spoke of lessons learned, of wanting to rebuild what she had torn apart. But as I sat there, I realized something. I wasn't the broken one at the table anymore. She was. I listened quietly, letting her confess every regret, every excuse, every ounce of guilt. When she finally stopped, I leaned forward and spoke the words I had carried for months. Sarah, you destroyed everything we had with a single message. Do you really believe another message can undo that? Her tears flowed harder, but I remained steady. I told her forgiveness wasn't the same as reconciliation. That shattered trust doesn't magically return. She wanted me to carry her pain, to fix what she had broken, but I was no longer the man she could fall back on. As I stood and walked out, a weight lifted from me. For the first time in years, I felt light. She stayed behind, crying into her hands, the way I once cried over her words. But now I was the strong one. She had gambled everything on a fleeting thrill and lost. I didn't need revenge, or even her regret, to feel whole. My peace came from knowing she finally understood the pain she had caused, and from knowing I had risen above it. The man she broke no longer existed. The man who left that cafe was stronger than she would ever know.